XRP is slowly forming this price structure, the pattern, above a support zone which has been there for few months. That's a good thing to see. If we do get a breakout here, we are going back up to 0.7 levels. Now, it won't be a surprise because we have done that a couple of times in the recent past. Now, if you do look at XRP to Bitcoin, it had similar structure there. It broke to the upside. Now, on the USD terms, we want to see a breakout here. That's something positive because the volume to the price action now shows positive things. You got a bullish engulfing candle here. Now, a retest of the bottom doesn't matter. A push to the upside matters a lot. When you do go look at Bitcoin last few weeks, it's been choppy. But right now, if you look at everything else with the price action, you kind of know where we are going. And one of that perspective laid out by Tech Dave here is showing 2021 with the current structure, 2023 to 2024. You see almost similar patterns. Now, I have a different opinion about little minor things, but it still shows you where it's going. Now, his argument is somewhat close to 150,000. I would put it close to 100. Below 100. 90, 95 would be too much. Because if you do measure the total move of each of these microstructure, you get an exact idea of how long we are taking this time compared to how high we are going. That matters more in my humble opinion. But if you take that into the picture and look at everything else happening right now in the world, that matters a lot. If you're valuing this for 2030, it won't happen in 2030. It would be happening from here to there, step by step. So a ton of money need to enter into this market. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Right now, we are watching few of these assets trying to break back up, putting a local new high. It's all slowly starting to reverse. It's fine, it's good. And then you look at it based on Bitcoin. And again, you see a lot more coins slowly starting to go against Bitcoin. Even XRP on that front is looking fine. It broke higher. And it's back to these levels before the recent drop. So if you do look at that, we're back to first week of April levels. That's actually a good thing. Now, if you do zoom out on the macro, you know where we are. We discussed about it in detail. So what do you expect it? If the price action here in the Bitcoin terms is going to go back up, this is your short-term resistance. Previous support turning into the next resistance. So to expect a run to the upside against Bitcoin, you still have another 68-70% move. That's good. That's positive. Because if that 70% move is happening against Bitcoin, usually we can easily put the argument that you're going to get 120 to 150% move in USD terms. But you only need 35% move to break this level of resistance, which has been there for like a year. Now, say you do somewhat similar, which is just a 67, 68, 70% move. You are coming close to what we have put in last year high, which is close to 0.8, 0.9. So if you do look at it logically and then say, yeah, if it is going to perform against Bitcoin that way, then here against dollar, it should be somewhat like about a dollar mark, which is great, which is fine. And now the question then becomes like, okay, then what the hell is dollar doing? And that's where I'm a little bit happy because this is what the dollar is doing. So when this guy shows up want to go up and the currency pair against which it is trading is going down, that usually gives you some more upside. Say, while the dollar was going up here, this is the March, this is the April. You know what happened in the crypto market? We slowed down. So mid-March to late April. So you are here, you're looking at the mid-March segment and you're like, okay, we didn't do much. We were slow, we were going down. So the phase where crypto market performed, say you go back to like Jan, Feb, till mid-March, you will see something similar in this structure. What is it? From that Jan, Feb, March, you're actually watching this. The dollar went down, which allowed crypto market to gather all that momentum and start moving up. The next move was here, Feb towards mid-March. That drop gave this leg in the crypto markets. Feb is here. The starting of the Feb was like 42,000 in Bitcoin. It pushed all the way up to 74. Now, this same phase is about to start here. In crypto, it's slowly reversing with the recent panic because there's a daily candle and just 2 candles. Last 2 candles I'm talking about, because you put in a local high here and then you got rejected. Now we're going back down. Fine. You zoom a little bit out to see this range has been a local resistance for an extended period of time. So if it is to come back down, yeah, you have a support close to 104. But usually what we see or what we have seen is that if you do have a channel, that's corrective direction. The direction of the channel is usually a corrective direction. So it goes to the upside after that. Fine. This was going down. It went to the upside. Now here, your corrective channel is to the upside. So the break should be to the downside. That would make more sense for the entire altcoin market to start going up. Now, put the Bitcoin chart on the macro, because we don't want to miss where we are on the macro picture when we are just zooming into the short-term price action. So the short-term price action does show you we got rejected. This is a 3-day chart. We got rejected. Now the same happened here. We broke to the downside, but the retest was successful. It went back up. Here the retest was not successful. We came back down. So we're going back to a scenario like this. You broke to the downside. Retest was very good. You went back up immediately. The only area where you got the retest rejected is this. You had this level, which was acting as a support, which then broke to the downside and retested, got rejected, and then went back up. But there is some difference here. That retest and the rejection made a structure like this, which was a higher low. Right now, what we are watching is not a higher low. So if you do see this on the trend side of things, yeah, you can put the perspective here. You should be looking at somewhat like this and you'll go back to this. Agreed. But we don't have this as a pattern here, or the structure looks similar to this. But if you do notice something, we did not break this level to the downside. Right now, here we are choppy, very choppy. So that's one of the reasons why I usually say go to the higher time frame structure, and the monthly chart shows you this. This month has just started, right? So you have 30 days here to see where this candle closes. But while that candle is playing out, we are the audience. We are looking at it and saying, up, 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 go buddy, go, bounce off. But what is it doing? That's important for us on a daily basis to weekly basis to see how the price is responding to this previous resistance as a support. Is it bouncing above that territory? That's important because you have this range as a resistance which turned into a support, or which should turn into a support because if it does break to the downside, boom, it does not look good. So what we want is this monthly candle coming back up at least above 50% of the last candle. That's the only thing we want for the month of May. If that doesn't happen for next 2 candles, it's bad. Meaning next 2 months can slowly come back up to 70. That's okay, but you're going to go back down. That would be something like this. 1 candle to the upside, 2 candles to test that bottom, and then boom, right? So if you take 2 candles to come back up here, it's going to go back down. We really don't want to see that. It doesn't matter who says what, but if you see that in the price action, it's concerning. Now you zoom in. You're going onto a weekly chart. This is not a short-term chart. This is a weekly chart. This matters a lot with what you're watching on the XRP Bitcoin. Even when Bitcoin is holding its support, XRP is going up, which means XRP did not drop like Bitcoin. XRP didn't put in a new lower low here. It's not going through a level which is breaking lower lows, lower lows. We're not watching that for weeks, which is a positive thing. Now, if you do look at the volume side of things, there is something to keep in mind. And it makes sense too in the market. You had decent amount of selling volume with decent selling. You have the exact same amount of selling volume, or 99% of it, and you have a lot more selling happening here with this week. Now, if you are in the market, you're looking through a lot of things, you already know why that's happening. We saw that the grayscale, those guys were dumping, what, 2,000 Bitcoin? Something like that. And another whale was buying it up afterwards, for sure. But they already sold it in the market, pushed the price down, and then the market went up. So yes, the Mr. 100, he was buying that 2,174 Bitcoin for sure, which the grayscale was dumping, right? The ETFs were dumping too. So now the story is, we have another ETF for which I think they were expecting it to do $1 billion over 3 years' time, and in just first day, it did 30% of that. That's a big thing. They were expecting this to happen in a year, and that happened in 1 day. So more money is coming from some way for some reason. And that's why this makes a little bit more sense. Not the upside as the whole, here as 150, but the pattern, the price structure, and the analysis. Now, when you do look at it on a daily, you're zooming in to see, okay, fine, all of that's good. But when the hell are we going back up? Right now, if you put in basic level of TA, you would put this. You would say, yeah, that was a support, but we broke that to the downside, right? We don't want to go to the other direction. We want to look at the daily. We want to look at the weekly. We want to have right ideology here. The local low which we put in is like this, 56,500 or just below that. Now you bring in the RSI, you're looking at this. Okay, do we have a trend line formation? Yeah, we do. We started the negative divergence up here and extended all the way back down. Remember we talked about that negative divergence? But then the hidden bullish divergence slowly started forming in. Before we broke to the upside, we got the news, boom, we came back down. Now, what does the daily chart show you? Are we going to have a V-shaped recovery, boom? Maybe, but as of now, you don't have that buying volume. As of now, you would do this. You want to see this, at least. This is what we would like to see. Fine. Does that idea looks like it is valid on a 3-day chart? Because on a 3-day chart, remember, we've been talking about this negative divergence for a long period of time, right? You put that here, and you'll see the price was going up substantially at a time when the RSI was not. So the 3-day chart already had that negative divergence, and that's maybe one of the reasons why we dropped this hard. But if you look at what the chart is now showing you, meaning when the chart showed you, if the results was like this, then when the chart shows you this, the results should also be same. The chart is now showing you a hidden bullish divergence, developing, fine. So then the question becomes like, okay, you had a negative divergence, you had the correction, which was comparatively longer, deeper than what we have seen in the entire cycle. Highest was 22, this time we did 23. Yes, it's just 1%, but still on a percentage terms, that's bigger. Now you're coming back to the RSI, you're coming back to the MACD. You can take any level of things you want. But the more indicators you use, the more you get confused. That's why I say, okay, limit it to the indicators which are being used the most in the world. Because some people say, see, I have a secret indicator. I mean, go to hell with your secret indicator. Why? Because if you are that Elon Musk, who's going to put in $1 billion worth of buy, maybe that's good. If not, you are only watching that buy signal, not the entire market. So who's going to push the price up? So you need to see something which a lot of people, or at least the smart money, is looking at. So when you buy, others are also buying and the price goes up. I mean, that makes sense for me. I don't know what you think. And if you have a difference of opinion, let me know in the comment section below. We'll respond to that. Now, this is on a 3-day chart. Now go on a weekly. This is super important because historically speaking, each and every top in Bitcoin came with a negative divergence, except the cycle here in 2017. So if you take this cycle in 2013, this cycle in 2021, you get to see all of those. Even the local drop here in 2023 from 30,000 to 25,000, it was shown in the negative divergence. Right now, we don't have one. So the price on the weekly pushing the RSI, the strength back down to this level is optimistic for me because I'm personally looking for a bounce and a drop. I don't know when this is going to happen exactly. Maybe June, maybe July, maybe I'm wrong because timing is the hardest part and it's 90% wrong in timing. But the price structure is at least correct to most of the thought process we have shared. Now, if that's to happen, we would need a bounce. If that needs to become a negative divergence, the price needs to go up. How high? How high, right? So you're talking about 90, you're talking about 95. Some people are talking about 150, 200, big numbers. Whatever it is, they're showing you upside, not the downside, right? So that's where you look at the macro and say, okay, each time the price comes down to the moving average, it bounces back up. Now we go back. You go back into XRP and you're looking at the price action. Okay, we just looked every possibility on the Bitcoin side of things. So when we do compare XRP to Bitcoin, we have an idea. If the monthly here is showing XRP is about to bounce, and not a small bounce, huh? This is a historically big bounce we're talking about, a huge one. Historically speaking, right? Historically speaking, you put the average in, or don't even put the average, yeah? Take the lowest in. Are you going to do a 60x, or are you going to do a 20x, or are you going to do a 5x? Let's take the 5x. It's okay. You're going to do 5x against Bitcoin when Bitcoin is slowly going up. So that means in dollar terms, you should do 25 to 30x, a minimum, which would put from the current price of 0.5, extrapolate that into $15. That's not small. I mean, that's huge for a lot of us who've been buying into this asset for an extended period of time. That's a blessing. I mean, I don't know if you don't think it's a blessing when the price is at $10, $15, wherever it is, right? So even that small thing shows you that. Now say you take the mid portion, you're not that optimistic about a 60x. You're saying, okay, maybe a 18x, maybe a 20x. That would actually mean you're going to see a 40, 50x in dollar terms. Now that's $25, that's $30. That's a huge, huge price movement. But it still does not take you to $1,000, $10,000, or any type of those nonsense, right? Now, keep this in mind. This is the history. You're being conservative with some optimism about the market. Because we are watching on the other side, the dollar is still going down, which is what we actually want to see. While this happens, we want to see the market here, the stock market side of things, slowly bouncing back. And when it is bouncing back, remember, we had the negative divergence call here. We wanted to see the price go down. Now it's coming back down and slowly starting to form a pattern. But being honest, I would like to see this here, a A, a B, a C. That should come in. I mean, I would be really happy that this level is being retested. Now, the entire session here, stocks didn't perform well. It was really small. It was really slow. From last October, you'll actually notice when stock went up, crypto was also going up. Crypto started going up from here. That's a different story. But here, stocks also joined. So if that's true, think about it like this. Crypto starts to go up here, but in that time, this one is coming down and then it joins the crypto. What if that's going to be the scenario, right? So we have all these different thought processes, but all of that digests back to what? Being disciplined, having patience. Because when the price reaches here, if you exit now, you are not watching that. If the price does go up to $1 and here, which is something you haven't seen all the way back to 2021, you miss big time. You don't want to. So guys, if you received value for your time here in the Scientific Investor family, smash that like button for me. And if you don't want to miss any of the opportunities in the market, the macro analysis, the micro analysis, different opportunities of assets performing against Bitcoin, against Ether, showing best opportunities for next 3 months, next 2 months, follow the SI family. The link is given in the description below where you get to take most of these opportunities. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.